Neil, the next game to talk about is a home game for you guys, where you were. So it was Brighton Hove Albion actual versus the team that basically bought all your players and your managers and coaching staff over the years,
Yeah.
and had modelled themselves on being. I think they call themselves. What was it, the Elite Brighton project? I think they were going for at Chelsea, which seems to not be going particularly well.
Well, quite a few people call them a lot of different things, but I like to nickname them Chelsea and Hove Albion because that feels like
Yeah,
it's about right. So,
yeah.
yeah, Chelsea came to town and they were sent packing, mate. They were sent packing. It
And
was
you actually did send them back in. This
oh,
is a big difference, and I think a big
totally.
turning point for what I certainly saw on the socials from the Brighton side since this game was very much. Hersler, we are sorry. Like, this is actually starting to come together now. I think the wonders of sitting in a European spot do help that, and looking at that table, but and obviously beating someone you really want to beat. I mean, I don't know what, from your opinion, Neil. Like, obviously, there's a team like in this podcast that you clearly want to beat every year, and that's a game you want to win. But I'm assuming from a Brighton point of view, this Chelsea game, since all of the staffing issues that you've had between the two clubs, I would imagine this would be very much one that is on the list to win every season, right?
For me personally, it's bigger.
Is it?
Right at this moment, it is because,
Ooh.
and it's because of what you've just said. It's because of that feeling of, you consider it from your perspective. If you get a team that have got millions and millions and millions and millions more pounds, right? They have literally bullied you into selling, tapped up
Oh.
your players, right? And they've all gone to one club. And they've taken our staff, as you said, they've taken managers, they've taken technical directors, they've done all of that, which just feels strange when you look at it just across the Premier League. You don't see other clubs doing that. You don't see other clubs just going to one club and going, we're just going to take everything that is what's good with you. We're just going to take it. We're not going to copy it. We're going to just take the people and everything. So it's a very strange feeling. And yet, at the same time, I think it's almost good for us because what it does is it creates what happened on Tuesday night. It creates that feeling and that intensity. And it was the first thing I wrote on my notes, actually, which is
Do you prepare for this?
so,
You'd never know, mate. You'd
wow.
never know.
It was the first thing I put on my notes about this game. Shut your face. Was for the last 4 seasons, this match has meant so much for the Albion fans. The atmosphere for this game was electric. Like the
I
stadium
bet.
was just up for it. And I think because of the timing of the game as well, like where it is in the season, it meant a lot as well. And
Yeah.
and so yeah, I think at the moment, mate, it actually does feel a little bit more like a proper grudge match. Palace game will always be there and it'll always have so much history. We know that. And we will always be rivals. But this is more of a hatred. And I think that's the difference at the
Well,
moment.
and I also think that it makes a difference for a fixture at the end of April, for either Brighton or Palace. To
Yeah.
be fair, at this time of year, to still be
Mm.
playing with the chance to actually achieve something, as opposed
Yeah.
to trying to earn another £1 million by going up another place or whatever. It does make a big difference
Yeah.
and that's why this whole run in with numerous people in with a shot of certain things is actually a bit more exciting this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us what happened, Neil. Come on.
Okay, mate. Well, first things to probably point out is the lineup. It was obviously a few days after the Spurs game. I was expecting maybe a couple of changes because he always does that when we've got a midweek game. Gomez, as we know, was going to be out because he got that injury. So Matoma replaces him, pretty much what you expected. Probably the most interesting thing was that Lewis Dunk was available again
Yeah.
because he'd been suspended for 2 games. He was back, our captain, our legend, but he wasn't put straight back into the team.
Well, you've done all right without him, haven't you?
Well, that's my point. So although he was
Yeah.
available, I'm really pleased that Boskagli kept his position, kept his place. And I think that's really good to see. He deserves it. He's earned it. He's played really well. We've, played really well in those games. And so that was a really positive, I think. I think that helps team morale as well. I think he's earned it. So that was a really good place. Welbeck was rested to the bench. Jorginho Rutter started as a number 9. And although I don't class Jorginho Rutter as a number 9, the very first thing I will say to you is throughout this game and the last couple of games, it is clear he has been working very, very hard to understand that position more. He's started to show that he's benefiting from training and learning that this is obviously a position that Fabian Hersler needs him in, and he's doing things to try and understand that role better. So he was pretty good on Tuesday night, like they all were. They were all fantastic. So look, let's get started. I'm trying not to take hours with this game because I would love to sit here and talk for hours because it was such a great game to be part of as well because I was there. Albion came out of the blocks on fire, right? They started as they meant to go on. They were at Chelsea straight away. They had literally 2 minutes in, almost an exact carbon copy of the Matoma goal at Spurs, where Gross far post cross. Matoma comes in, this time on the half volley, just gets there as the bounce up, and Sanchez gets a hand to it and pushes it over the bar. But, I mean, it was literally almost exactly the same. And 2 minutes in
That's
as well.
what I thought, mate. It's pretty much something that clearly they've worked on because, it was a and repeat situation, wasn't it? So,
and the great thing
scenes.
was, yeah, exactly. The great thing was that went out for a corner, and the crowd therefore got up. They were going for it. As soon as the corner came over, that resulting corner, we take the lead. Kadioglu at the far post after, I think it was a poor clearance from Caicedo, Brighton old boy, I'll be saying that a lot, as he drills it through the players, keeps it low, past the keeper as well, into the back of the net, 1 up, 3 minutes gone, and the stadium somehow got even louder. It was a fantastic moment. If you can consider how up the crowd are in any game, any home game, when you start that kickoff, that first couple of minutes, everyone's sort of up for it. To get a goal that early as well against Chelsea just made everything go up
3
a
minutes.
level. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Albion didn't let up, right? They just kept going forward. Great passing moves all over the pitch, great runs, just no let up anywhere across the pitch. Chelsea just looked, I mean, they just didn't know what hit them, if I'm honest. Albion just put constant pressure on the Chelsea back line. And realistically, this the worst moment of the half, of the game probably, where we should have got our second, when Sanchez, because we're pressing him so high, he passes all wrong, like he did all game. The ball goes straight to Carlos Baleba, who passes it to Hinchelwood in front of the goal, and he can only just reach his pass out. It goes towards the goal line, but unfortunately, the defender just gets there and kicks it away. He comes back and gets it. And it's like, at that moment, obviously there's a thing that goes through your mind and goes, oh my God, is that the moment that we're going to regret later in the game? But it was, if I'm honest, the first half, Chelsea just weren't in it. We just did not give them a chance.
Well, do you know what? Just to follow that up with some stats, I don't know if have you seen these match momentum graphs? I like these. Where
I've seen
you've got
a few of them.
Yes, you've got like an upwards graph for the home team and a downwards graph for the away team,
Yeah.
and it shows like who's got the momentum in the game, who's more likely to score, and for this game, for the entire 45 minutes, it was all high achieving graph for Brighton, with there was, I think, a period on this graph, it looks like about 4 or 5 minutes where Chelsea had the upper hand, and that was probably 5 minutes before half time.
Yeah.
To see a game like that where one team has got a full shift of that graph, it's quite unheard of, to be fair. So it's really apparent that you were all over them.
We really were. And I think actually you've just pointed out something there about that last 5 minutes before half time, which I think if you look over our last 4 or 5 games, our winning streak and our successful time, there's been a little change in our mentality where we've decided 5 minutes before the half or 5 minutes before the end of the game, we're just not going to do anything stupid. We're going to
Yes.
sit, we're going to control the game, and we're just going to let. So Chelsea probably just had the ball but didn't do anything with it, which is what I would say happened on this game.
Yeah.
And that shows a little shift in our mentality again, where we're not going gung ho, we're actually being a bit more sensible about things. So look, end of the first half, 1-0 up, probably should have been 3, maybe even 4-0 up, if I'm completely honest. And that's not even being biased. We were on fire. Second half, and I would say this is the one slight moment where Chelsea got back into it ever so slightly, right? The first maybe 9 minutes, 10 minutes of the second half. I mean, to be fair, they were sent out early. They'd obviously had a rollicking at half time. The manager obviously knew this was his last chance to probably try and keep his job. They came out and they tried. And that's about all I can tell you. They didn't really cause us too much problems, but they tried. So the first sort of 10 minutes of the second half was a little bit more even. And then on 56, I think it was 55, 56 minutes, Albion break from a Chelsea who had sort of pushed up high. There was an appeal for a handball just outside Albion's box, which you're never going to get. It just bounces up and hits Mente on the arm. But I mean, it's not in on purpose or anything like that. Plus, it's outside the box, so VAR can't get involved. Bounces up, comes down. Minte just boots it upfield. Jorginho, Rutter, Caicedo again. Fight for the ball. Jorginho wins it, and suddenly it's him and Hinchelwood against the last man, and they're running the whole half of the pitch. And this time, thankfully, with Jorginho Rutter's confidence coming back to him, he times the pass perfectly
It
for
was a good
Hinchelwood,
pass.
who can suddenly make amends for that first half miss. He does the eyes to Sanchez, sends him the wrong way and puts it into the near post. Second goal goes in. And somehow, Andy, the stadium gets even louder again. And from that moment on, 2-0 up, half an hour or so to go. The rest of the game, if I'm honest, was a lot of fun. There was the Albion fans just making sure that all the Chelsea players continue to get PTSD from visiting the Amex. Sanchez, in particular, he just got constant berating and jeers. Albion just continue to have chances. Chelsea just looked completely beaten. It was a wonderful half an hour of my time, of my season, to sit there
Oh,
and watch. You know, that feeling of just like contentness. And there's always something in the back of your mind that's saying, oh, well, if they get a goal and things. But generally speaking, no. It just felt fantastic. And to put a cherry on top of the Chelsea bun, Welbeck comes on to score in the final minutes. Welbeck, who always scores against Chelsea. Just a simple long ball over the top. Chelsea defenders get under it, totally miss it. Sub to Kuiper, picks it up, takes it to the byline, passes it back. Low pass to Welbeck, who, as you know, plants it into the roof of the net. Boom, 3-0. And honestly, it was such a sweet 90 minutes to be present and to watch. And what I loved about it the most, there was a little moment just on the bench when we scored our third goal. I looked down and I could see Fabian Herzler obviously in the area standing there, and he was just about to bring on Matt O'Reilly. Right, Matt O'Reilly, who hasn't featured much. He
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
a few minutes here or there. He's obviously going to be really annoyed about not playing much. He's been brought back from Marseille and still not played. But when we scored our third goal, he cheered, he got hugged by all the staff, everyone was jumping about and he was loving it too. And there was just a moment of feeling like, do you know what? Even players that aren't playing are enjoying this. They're enjoying the fact that we are playing well and we're in form. And it was just a lovely moment to see as someone that tries to sort of see what's going on when other things are happening. It was just really lovely.
I've seen quite a bit of content that's come up on my social media feed of celebrations in your dressing rooms for the last couple of games. And it does very much look like, I mean, look, honestly, a group of players that look like they've won a cup after getting 3 points in the league. But I'm not saying that in a derogatory way because I want to see that. I want to see that
Yeah.
from a team that they care that much and there's that much togetherness that they're celebrating the wins and not just walking down the tunnel and getting their phones out and scrolling on TikTok or whatever. You want them to be that invested, don't you? But mate, look, listen, you've done them over. You've done them over. If you look at the stats, I think shots on target 9 for you,
Yeah.
0 for Chelsea. I mean, that's embarrassing, right? Same with, I think you covered nearly 7% more distance than them on the pitch.
I think that's a really good stat to pull out as well, distance covered, because I think probably if you look at things like sprinting, running compared to walking as well, Brighton probably edged that as well by quite a lot.
He did.
Yeah,
Considerably.
and the one person on the pitch, I'll come back to him again because I mentioned him all the time, but I think he is pivotal in our change throughout this season. Pascal Gross coming back into the team against Chelsea, right? I made this comment to the people around me. When you watch that game, it was such a bizarre thing to watch because Pascal Gross was an option to pass to, it seemed like, for every single player every time they had the ball. Honestly, he was everywhere, and he ran something like 14 kilometres in that game. The next closest player, I think, was 11, right? So he ran 3K further than anyone else on that pitch, right? And then, honestly, I cannot get it over to you how much of a difference Pascal Gross has made to Brighton.
I felt like he was the missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle, didn't he? And I think maybe has he given you a bit more of an identity now in terms of the way you're playing as well? Because it certainly looks like you've got a bit more of a better system going on.
It's also because he totally understands what's expected of the team. He totally understands the tactics. And you can see him. He does not stop talking and pointing every time. Wherever the ball is, he is telling everyone where they should be passing it to. So there cannot be a mistake. And the Chelsea game, overall, that was probably one of the most enjoyable games I've seen this season. And as I said to you many times before, I rate Brighton on how much I enjoy watching them, not necessarily the results. And the way that we passed the ball, the confidence going through the team, it was a joy to watch on Tuesday night. Yes, it made it sweeter that it was Chelsea, but ultimately, I loved it. And so, look, the support in the Amex was great. It was loud. It was hostile. It was rousing. It was basically what it should be every game. And I'm hopeful that the supporters will get behind Brighton for the last 2 home games we've got, and the away fans, I know they will. So Albion, 6 wins, 1 draw in the last 8 games. And
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. It's not what I want to hear, but congratulations to you.
Thanks, mate.
And maybe you need to start a new podcast, mate. Maybe I need to do one. You need to get a Chelsea fan on. If they're your biggest rivals now.
What shall I call it? Brighton. No, listen, it's not.
No,
mate. I'm very happy with you, Andy. I don't want to leave you. I like Seagull Eagle. This is fun, and this is enjoyable.
I'd like to say the same.
But it is for both of our teams at the moment. We've both got something to look forward to at the moment, haven't we? Which is nice.
Well, let's be honest. Over a year ago when we started all this off, I don't think either of us were sat here thinking we'd both be looking at potential of Europe for next season. I think we probably thought it'd be a relegation dogfight or something like it normally
Absolutely.
is. But there we go. Anyway, can we stop talking about Chelsea now, please? Because I just, you're too happy and I'm not used to it.
Well, let's continue that then and talk about Liverpool, Crystal Palace, shall we? Oh, mate. Honestly, I didn't see this game, so I've only seen the highlights, obviously match of the day, and I've seen other things now, because it was a Saturday 3:00, and obviously I can't watch that. So none of us can, obviously, in the UK. So when I saw the result, I didn't think much of it. I thought, okay, Liverpool won at home, like anyone can lose to Liverpool at Anfield. But then I saw the XG, which tells a different story. And then I spoke to you. So look, take it away, mate. Take it away.
Palace chasing history, right? That's what we were doing. We were chasing history because this is an interesting one, an interesting stat that I'd actually overlooked, right? We were aiming to beat Liverpool 4 times in one season in this game. We were after our 4th win in one season. We'd already beaten them in the Community Shield, the Premier League and the Carabao Cup. We were unbeaten in 5, confidence high, despite obviously that draw with West Ham. Liverpool coming into this livid with Crystal Palace, the Achilles in this situation every single time, turning into their bogey team. So there was a big incentive for them, right? How did the game unfold? Well, key moments in the first half, I would say probably first chance of the game came probably on about 12 minutes, an early statement from Palace that we weren't there to probably park the bus and that we were actually going to have a go at them. Adam Wharton was dictating the play quite nicely, clips a quality cross into a very packed box. Chris Richards rises, but just couldn't keep it down, right? Early warning shot, and an indication that we were going to be able to find space within the Liverpool box, right?
Yeah.
And kind of they were giving us an opportunity to play our game. So then I think on 20 minutes around that sort of time, Johnson fires it over. I think there was a sharp counter-attack by Sarr down that right-hand side. And this was the thing for this game. There was a lot of counter-attacking going on both teams, and a lot of kind of quick movements. The ball broke nicely for Johnson inside the area. He leaned back and obviously sailed it over. And again, look, another early moment. In essence, in 20 minutes, we could have been 2-0 up. And again, it's one of these things where it's another what could have been situation. Then on 25 minutes, Johnson again, Liverpool broke really quickly after we lost possession, really, really high up, continuing to press them, right? So we weren't, we were going to win this, right? This was no mistake on it. Then Mo Salah decides to, he dived in the box, right? And went down under pressure. Ref points to the spot. Clearly at Anfield, because that's what would happen. Anfield celebrating. Thank God that VAR intervened, because the replay clearly shows that Johnson, although highly ambitious in what he was trying to do there at the angle he was trying to do it, he actually did what he was meant to do. He won the ball back. I didn't touch Salah in any way, shape or form. Penalty overturned.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the thing that struck me was because I think players now there's VAR, right? There's this level of confidence that actually you'll see what happened. And Johnson looked like that. You see his, like, when the penalty was given, he wasn't like going, oh my God, or anything. He just went, no, I touched it. It's fine. Like, he was very nonchalant about the fact that, no, you'll see this is a mistake. And so that was a nice thing.
Yeah, I think that is Brennan and his personality as well, which is like, don't worry about it. It's fine. I've got this. And it was quite a huge moment, really, because it kept Palace level. Big confidence boost for us defensively. I think we were on the up, right? We were on the up at that point, and I think we had them on the ropes. I think only for our own incompetence, the ability to score, that they were still in the game. But also at that point in the game, a big reminder about Liverpool's huge ability and the arsenal that they've got to be able to cause us danger in the transition. One thing that I wasn't quite sure about here was, why was Salah not looked at in the book for diving? Because if they looked at that careful enough, they would have realised that he collapsed like a cheap suit. It was ridiculous. I think any other player apart from him would have ended up in that book.
I was just about to say the same thing, that I think it's Anfield and it's Salah, therefore they get away with it.
It's very frustrating. There was quite a bit of that in this game, but there we go. On 35 minutes, this is when it all went wrong for Palace. The first real Liverpool shot on target, right? And they score. And this is what happens, and it's a lesson to be learnt about teams like Palace going to Anfield, because you give them a chance, they'll score it, because that's the quality that they've got, right? And they should have with what they've got at their disposal. It was quite a scrappy build-up, I thought, really, but the initial effort weak, and then it fell perfectly to an unmarked Isak, who I don't know why he was unmarked in that position, because there was players all around him, and the chances of this ball landing at Isak's feet is ridiculous. But there we go. He reacted quickest. One touch to control, one touch to finish, and that just proves Liverpool are more clinical than we are, because we had 3 or 4 by that point and got nowhere near. Classic top team moment, really, isn't it? Not dominant, but decisive.
Yeah.
So look, 1-0 down. I think Palace got the ump a little bit at this point. And then on 40 minutes, this is actually ridiculous what happened.
This is hilarious.
absolute momentum. I don't find it particularly funny. Absolute momentum killer. Palace were inches away from getting the equaliser because we continued to push, right? Doing exactly what we meant to be doing. Mateta heads it goalwards. Freddie Woodman, who isn't he like their third choice keeper or something?
So I was going to actually bring up Freddie Woodman for a second, right? So he came on last week for the injured Mamdashvili, who got, he had to go off injured. Allison is already injured. So yeah, third
Yeah.
choice goalkeeper. And where did he start his career? Where was his academy?
Well, he started at Palace, but do
There
you
you
know
go.
what's even worse than that, mate?
Go
I
on.
don't know if you even know this. He is a massive Palace fan. That is actually a true story. He said to the
Love it.
media, I'm pretty sure he used the words Palace through and through at one point earlier in his career, that he is a Palace fan. Yes.
Well, he
Yes. So there you go.
definitely looked forward to playing against Palace. He had the game of his life, didn't he?
Oh, undoubtedly, if it wasn't for him, they would have been the score would have been 3-1 to Palace by half time. And yeah, anyway, there was the Woodman pulls off this brilliant save.
Yeah, it was.
And then seconds later, there's obviously a counter because obviously we'd thrown everyone forward, a counter from Liverpool. And mate, honestly, like bang, like 2-0 down. So what we could have been, which was 1-1, a few seconds later, we're now 2-0 down. They've had 2 shots on target, scored both of them. There's a swing for you, right? That's the cruel game of football right there.
Special note, though, to Andy Robertson, left back, 30-odd years old, steaming through the centre of the pitch, and a fantastic little finish as well. I have to be honest, it was a great finish for a left back.
I've tried to block it out, Neil, but it was, and it was a lesson in how quick you can do the transition, right? And that's what we were meant to be good at. But there we go. And then right on half time, we had a bit of a foothold on the game. I thought, still, even after 2-0 down, we were still going at them. And another superb chance for Lacroix, but he headed it into the back post, and then Woodman once again. With really, really good save. And then as the halftime whistle blew, I think, look, mate, I half time I sat there and went, we play really well. We play really well. We looked really good. We just haven't scored. And ultimately, we all know, right? That's the whole point of what we're doing here. We're meant to be scoring goals. But somehow 2-0 down, really quite frustrating though. But also you kind of go, that's why Liverpool, right? And were Liverpool last year and did really, really well. They
definitely.
obviously haven't been this clinical in the previous months. So look, yeah, half time, frustrating. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit annoyed at half time. I was a little bit annoyed. Second half, key moments. Well, yeah, Sosa came on, which was interesting to see. Mitchell injured. Apparently, they reckon he's going to be back on Thursday, so they don't think it's a bad one, but they've taken him off as a precaution. So Sosa comes on, and what have we seen from Sosa, the prodigal son that was signed? Not much up until this point, to be brutally honest. He's had a couple of games in Europe. Early signs were a bit of a nothing signing, actually, without being horrible. He just hasn't reached his potential.
He wasn't particularly expensive, was he? He was definitely one of those that you had to Google to find out who he was. But I mean, yeah, from what I can see online as well with social media, the Palace fans have been very sort of under-impressed by him.
Well, I think that's the thing, because I think he had a season with his previous club where he was the next big thing. And then it all went to pot. So we know what he's capable of. He just hasn't quite hit them heights. But anyway, I think Sosa coming on because Mitchell was injured, I think that added a little bit of extra switch for us from like attacking width and energy. And I think it gave us something different from what Mitchell was offering, who was doing a good job, by the way, at that point. And yeah, I think that kind of re-cemented the fact that we were still going to try and win this, which is ridiculous when you think about it, 2-0 down at Anfield. So I think Sosa did really well overall. Not the best game he's ever played, but the best one that I've seen from him in a very long time. Anyway, Pino also was introduced, who made an immediate impact as well. 64 minutes, Sarr had another crack, and I think it was a slick counter from Pino. Sarr got his shot away, and guess what? Palace fan Woodman ruined the day again. Honestly, pattern emerging, right? Palace creating, Woodman stopping it from happening. It just utterly ridiculous. And then I think on 71 minutes, that's when the real chaos started, and I'm sure will be a talking point. It'd be really interesting to see. And for those who don't know, like I met Neil last night. We had drinks around the neighbours,
We did.
and I tried to explain this situation to you, didn't I? And you were like, "What?" And obviously you've rewatched it since, but yeah, it's a very, 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 very strange situation where obviously Woodman comes out to take on Munez one-on-one again from
Oh, Sarr, I think, wasn't it?
oh, sorry, Sarr. It was Sarr, not Munez. Yes.
That's right.
So Sarr had what pretty much a one-on-one with the keeper. Keeper comes out, and from what I can gather, he kind of twists his leg. He kind of gets it stuck in the grass by
Yeah.
the look of it. One of them weird situations. Just to clarify, his leg, not his head or anything
No.
like that. Just his leg.
Yeah.
Right. Just his leg. He then stays down and waves his arms up in the air as if everything in the world should stop because he's hurt himself, stopping us from scoring, right? Which is a big point here, stopping us from scoring. He's come out, he's hurt himself. And then everyone around him, it's like, whoa, 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 stop the game. The referee's like, what? No, like, carry on. To which Munez gets the ball, looks up, and does have a little look around. I think there's a few people have said that Munez didn't know. He knew. And he was like, well, hang on a minute. No one's gone to the goal line. Looks at the referee, carry on playing. He's carried on playing, chipped it straight in. Also, the weirdest situation out of all of this is that not only is the keeper down pretending that he's lost his legs, not just hurt them. Obviously the Liverpool fans are going mad, but also none of the Palace players, apart from Munez, celebrated because they were a bit like, "Hang on, no, this is clearly not going to count," but it does. So, what's your views on that one, Neil?
I cannot believe that Crystal Palace showed such a lack of sportsmanship. I think it's disgusting. I cannot, but no, I look, mate, I can't actually, I can't say that. I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with that goal. There is no there was no real time between the keeper going down and Munez putting the ball in the back of the net, right? There's not really more than 3 seconds, 4 seconds at the most,
Yeah.
right? It's not like Palace have continued to play on, passed it around and let the goalkeeper writhe around in agony for ages or anything like that. That would be bad sportsmanship, right? This is purely just a reaction of what the ball is in front of him. There's no one in the goal. I'm going to put it in the goal and let the ref sort it out. And
Which shows his character, win at all costs, which is what you want.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't have an issue with it, in all seriousness. I
Well,
could see
do you-
Arne Slot sort of went at it a little bit with Glasner and the official was a little bit unhappy at that moment, that split second. But I think the other important thing to point out, correct me if I'm wrong here, Andy, Freddie Woodman got back up and was perfectly okay, wasn't he?
Oh, well, this is the point that I was going to make, right? Which is, why I found it utterly ridiculous that the entire Anfield continued to boo Munez throughout the whole thing. And obviously you would because it's a big pantomime. I get it, and we'd probably do the same thing. But it just kind of makes a mockery of the whole situation, doesn't it? If it was a head injury and there's blood flying all over the place, and he had to come off because of percussion protocol or whatever it would be, then I absolutely understand it. But this dude, Woodman, he went on the floor. He clearly twisted something or jolted something, as I'm sure we've all done playing football, where your leg gets trapped underneath you or whatever. He walks around in circles for a little bit after moaning on the floor for a couple of minutes, gets back up again. The other funny moment was that they looked at the bench and go, "Who have we got to bring on?" And then I think everyone else was looking to the bench, going, "Which one of these is the keeper?" Because they're now on number 4.
Yeah, I think they're down to like the 14-year-old or something.
Well, mate, and this young kid was like, trying to take off his IVs, going, "Sorry, is this happening? Am I actually coming on?" Like, what? And I think that's the point where Woodman's like, "No, this has got to be all right. This has got to be all right. I've got to shake this off." So there's that point of it, which is, yes, he got up and he was fine, right? Which I think legitimizes the fact that the ref did the right thing. But then there's the other thing about the fact that if the ref thought that was like, and Arne Slot's point of view, right, and the whole of Liverpool's point of view, which is we should have stopped play, right, we should have done the right thing and kicked the ball out. What that sets is a precedent to say that if someone has a go on goal and the keeper gets injured, basically, from that point forward, anytime any of them's given, there is no follow-up for a striker on a shot that's been taken because the keeper will just stay down. And that is football ruined.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. In all seriousness, I'd love to sit here and say that Palace, they made a mistake and it was disgusting and all that, but no, absolutely not. You should play on, play to the whistle, put the ball in the back
You got
of
to
the
play
net.
to the whistle.
Yeah, and let the ref sort it out.
Whether you like it or not, it's
yeah.
one of them, innit? Anyway, look, I thought that point I quite loved it because then Anfield got nervous. It also turned really eggy. They hated us, the rivalry, all this, and I think there wasn't a single person sat in that stadium that didn't think we were going to score a second goal. I think that they were all convinced that it was going to end up as a draw and that they still hated us because that's 4 games that they haven't got a win out of. I thought again, look, we had every opportunity, mate. We had every opportunity in that last bit of the game. Whilst Liverpool did have a bit of a resurgence, probably around the 70th minute or whatever, where we were defending quite deep. That last bit of the game, we did have momentum. Strand Larsen hits the post, which is, again, we have to put this into perspective. I called that as offside before everyone else did as well. We knew that if he'd have scored, it would have got ruled out. And then I think, of course, we continue to then push. And then what happens right at the end? Wirtz then scores the third one. We've thrown everything forwards and given them room to come in behind us, really. And he smashes it past Henderson. Game over. What would be a very cruel ending to a game. I'm not crying foul in any way, shape or form. We got outplayed by a clinical team who have got quality to make the chances happen. Because the truth of the matter is we should have scored more goals. We did not score more goals. But what were we? Competitive throughout, dangerous in transitions, unlucky in key moments. And I think that there are many things that could have happened, but did we go toe-to-toe with Liverpool? Scoreline-wise, no. Play-wise, yes. And we looked like our old selves, which was lovely. Fine margin and goalposts were not on our side. We deserved more. It's a cruel, cruel game, Neil. We take the loss.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. And look, let me throw some stats at you as you did to me.
Oh, go on. I'm ready to catch them.
Well, shots, right? This shows how much Palace really were in the game, right? Liverpool had 9 shots, Palace 14. 14 at Anfield, right? On target, 3 to Liverpool, 7 to Palace, right? XG,
bearing in mind they scored 3.
Well, this is the thing.
Every shot they had on target, they scored.
This was the thing, right? So the XG was the one that gave it away. Liverpool's XG for that game, remember, scoring 3 goals was 0.91. Crystal Palace scoring 1 goal, 2.32. Crazy stats. 2.5 times pretty much, the XG for Liverpool. Just unbelievable.
I've got one more stat, actually, just to finish this off, just to sum up the ridiculousness of bearing in mind what I've just told you about Woodman being a Palace fan, right?
Yeah.
And obviously he was there earlier on in his career. Goalkeeper saves, right? A stat that I love that you normally end up on the right side of with your keeper. Goalkeeper saves, Liverpool, 5. Palace, 0. Honestly, a game of absolute insanity, mate, and one that, again, it's one of the things I say often, I know, and I'm boring, but it's like you replay that game out in exactly the same way, 5 other times, and there's no way that's it finishing 3-1 for Liverpool. You win some, you lose some, mate. We're on to the next one. That's all it
absolutely. And so that's the end of match week 34, I think that is. That's end of match week 34. So 4 games left for most of us. I know Palace have 1 more. But so we're right near the end of the season now. It's getting to, what would you call it? I was going to say itchy bum time. That's probably not the right thing to say.
That might be what you've got, but squeaky bum time, I think, is what they call it. Yeah.
Sitting here, that's what it is. So let's look at the table. Let me see. So let me just go all the way down.
Only quickly, Neil. We probably need. We are probably
still scrolling.
Running out of time.
Sorry, hang on.
I'll
find her in a minute. Down here somewhere. Oh, there it is.
You'll
so
find
Crystal Palace. They're played 33. Yes, they have 1 more game to go yet. You are on 43 points in 13th place. So yeah, you've had a little dip the last couple of games, obviously because of the Liverpool game, but also the 0-0 against West Ham. You were on a little bit of a better run before that, but yeah, it's your last 6 games, as it were. So you've lost 2, won 2, drawn 2, nice and even from that perspective. And then let me just
Because we've been
scroll.
busy, mate. We've been busy doing other things, haven't
Sorry, I'm
we? Let's
still
be honest
scrolling
here.
up, Handy. Hang on a minute.
Yeah,
I've just got to scroll up.
yeah. Do you want to scroll over to the European pages
Still
and have a look,
scrolling
see where
up,
you are there?
Andy. Hang on a minute,
No?
mate. I'm a bit
Okay.
busy scrolling. Oh,
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
RSI here.
yeah,
Brighton and Hove Albion, here we are, 6th position.
yeah.
Played 34, 50 points. So our last 6 games, lost the Arsenal game, and then 4 wins and a draw so far in our last 6 games. Look, in all seriousness, right, taking the rivalry out of it for a second, um, we spoke a few weeks back about how many points we think people need for Europe and things like that. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think 58 is guaranteed. If you get 58 points, I think you'll be in Europe no matter what. And then after that, you're hoping and stuff. So from a Brighton point of view, we still need 8 more points, I believe, to guarantee ourselves any sort of European football. Um,
Yeah.
but I think the other thing to mention as of right now is that FA Cup semi-finals have just finished this weekend. So now the FA Cup final is Manchester City versus Chelsea.
Mhm.
So I am suddenly a Manchester City supporter because I don't want the same thing happening that happened last season with your lot. If Man City win that, that would be great for us because it gives the opportunity for a Europa League place back to the league position. So we'll have to wait and see, but it's, you know, the worst thing that could possibly happen could happen again, which is Chelsea drop out of the league positions and then Chelsea and Hove Albion beat Brighton to a European spot. I just can't. That can't happen for a second time in a row that a rival team beats us.
I'd love it. I genuinely love
Yeah,
it.
thanks, Kevin
Love to
Keegan.
see it only because of the way that you just conducted yourself live on the air like a child. We've still got a game in hand, Neil. Granted, it is against Man City, but just remember, mate, if you were in our position, you wouldn't be worrying about losing to Liverpool or drawing to West Ham. There'd be 2 games that you've got to win, one in a few days' time, which maybe we should just very, very, very briefly
We
just
should.
talk about in the
We should,
fixtures.
yeah. This week's fixtures upcoming.
Yeah, so this Thursday, 30th of April, 8 p.m, Palace's biggest ever European night coming up. It's away. Obviously, winner over the 2 legs heads to a European final. No pressure, lads. Game being played in Poland due to, obviously, the situation in Ukraine. Look, listen, Shakhtar Donetsk, they are top of the Ukrainian Premier League, right? And I know that's like, it's the Ukrainian Premier League, get it, right? However, after 24 games, they've only lost 1 this season so far. They've only they're on a really strong run in Europe as well. They're unbeaten in the last 7 of their last 8 European games, right? I don't think this team are a pushover, mate, in any way, shape, or form. They won the UEFA Cup just before it got changed in 2009. In 2010, they reached the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Obviously, as it stands at the moment, they're going to be in the Champions League next season anyway, if they make it through. So I think they are a team not to be sniffed at. We need to go there and we need to play our game with the intensity that we can play it and hope that they're willing to play a game against us. And I think we've got the away leg first, right? So it's the opposite way around this time. So I think
you've
we've
lucked
just
out
got
there.
to.
I think having that away game first, I think really gives you a platform to know the position and what you need coming to a home game. I think that really helps you. And no, you're right, mate. You're absolutely right. Shakhtar Donetsk, as a club, as an entity, they've got a lot of history. They're a big club in that sense. Roberto De Zerbi actually was manager there for a few years as well, around that time when they got to the Champions League as well. So, look, it's going to be such a big night for your boys and you. I'm presuming you're going to the home leg, are you, in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'll get a ticket. They haven't put them on sale yet.
Okay.
I do keep checking because I keep thinking I've missed it. But yes, that I will be going. Don't you worry
Okay.
about that. Yeah, I'm hoping to have the quandary about what to do if we get to the final because
Oh,
God
please.
knows whether I'll be able to get a ticket for that. But I'll be
Oh,
honest with you, I'd row over there if I needed to. So
oh.
let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, mate. But an exciting and probably nerve wracking because let's be honest, Palace ain't going to do this the easy way. When we even look, mate, we won 3-0 on the last one. I still lost the second one. So look, we ain't going to do it in the easy way, but let's see if we can continue this wonderful journey to stick a finger up to UEFA and go, look, we'll win the flipping thing. So it'll be wonderful. Who have you got next, Neil?
We are playing on Saturday, I think, the 2nd of May. We are
Yep.
away at St James's Park. We are playing the Toon. So
Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, it's never an easy place to go. Obviously, I mean, it's such a raucous atmosphere up there. However, of all the times to go and play Newcastle, it's probably useful to go when they've lost the last 4 games in a row. That's helpful. I think Eddie Howe is in a bit of trouble. I think
I
they
think
are
he
not in
is.
good form, and all I can say is there's not a better time to go. They're gonna be not playing as well as they are. There's gonna be pressure. There's gonna be stress in the crowds, and we're in form. Um, I would be very, very happy with a point. I'd be obviously ecstatic with 3 points, but if we can get something out of this game, goes towards those 8 points that I think we need for the last 4 games. So if we can get that, I'd be very happy, and we'll see where we get to.
Yeah, I actually do think you'll get something out of that, mate, and that's really annoying me. But if you look at Newcastle's form, it has dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
And they are lucky that if they had 3 less points, they could still get dragged into this.
Mm,
In terms of they're only just, I think, they're on 42, aren't they? So they're going to be all right. If Tottenham win all their games, it might get close. But yeah. Anyway, I hate to say it, but I do actually think you're going to do rather well up there.
yeah, I
Um,
hope so. I hope so. What about you? Because obviously you'll
ugh.
probably play on the Sunday then, won't you?
Oh yeah. We'll play on the Sunday the 3rd. We've got Bournemouth.
Oh, okay. A
Um,
home or away?
we are away
Oh,
this
okay.
time. So the team that are a point below you in the table at the moment. So what we might actually do is if we win our game midweek, we might just let them win,
I've got a
just
feeling,
so
haven't
that
you?
they can hopscotch you.
But
Uh,
seriously, in all seriousness, I mean, that is going to have to be a fear for you, isn't it? In that sense, that this is the longer this goes on now, and that you've got less chance currently as it speaks. With Crystal Palace getting a European spot in the league. Let's be honest now, if they're starting to disappear those chances. So even the team, even the manager can say what they want. The players themselves, there's going to be an element of we focus on the Conference League, we don't worry about the league.
Well, of course, and I think that the last few lineups have proved that, which is he hasn't fielded his strongest team to start off
Mm.
with, but he's brought them on in 60, 70 minutes when it's maybe not going quite right. So I think that will be I don't for one second think he's going to put the second team out, though, or play the youth players like he did before.
I mean, you've got a better squad now, though, haven't you? So it's easier, even if you play what you would call the reserves. They're a very good quality side still.
Oh, they are, presuming we don't get any injuries. I think what will happen is if we get to the final, I think that's when I think he will cart out
Yeah,
whoever wants to put a shirt on
yeah.
beforehand to rest them. So, yeah, I think you're absolutely right, though, because we talk about, jokes aside, we talk about the fact that we're on 43 points, but we've got a game in hand, which would take us up to 46, which only takes us up one place.
Mm.
But that game in hand is against Man
Yeah,
City.
yeah.
So I don't think that I think that the best we've got to hope for, realistically now, given the situation we're in with that Liverpool game last time, I think, and we're playing games teams against us. We're really probably looking at 12th at best,
Mm.
and that's not me being pessimistic because there is now a bit of a gap, that's forming above us with the resurgence of Brighton and so on. So let's see. Hopefully, I mean, it'd be lovely if we could get into the top 10, but that's going to take a few teams above us to lose
Mm.
or us to beat them.
Yeah,
Let's see
fair
what
enough.
happens, mate.
Let's see. Let's see. Well, I think after that incredibly long episode, but we had so much to get through. Thank you for bearing with us, everyone. That is it for this week's Seagull Eagle. Thank you very much for listening and watching.
Make sure to follow the show so you don't miss the next episode when it drops. You can contact us on email at seagulleaglepodcast@gmail.com or on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X.
Yeah, that's right. So we'll be back next week to talk all things Palace and their European journey continuing, Brighton's game against Newcastle and Bournemouth Palace as well. So until then,
Eagles!